Great.
All right, so we have a special guest. If you're looking around your house, do certain items remind you of special people or special times?
Absolutely. Well, they do for Joseph Cicio, and for years his friends have been telling him, you know, you should write a book, Joe, a book that, and guess what? He did.
Yeah, it is actually a beautiful coffee table book called Friends, Asterisks, Asterisks, Bearing Gifts, and we're assuming that those asterisks have to mean something.
That's so nice to see you, Joseph Cicio. Thank you so much for being with us. It is an absolute pleasure to see you. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks. Great. Excited about being here.
When did the book come out?
It came out about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and it's
so it's very new.
Very new, but it's good.
What a life you've led. Your friends, like the people who are your friends, make a coffee table book. Audrey Hepburn, Bill Blass, Prince Charles. You know, quite the collection of friends.
I am one of the luckiest Italian kids from Brooklyn ever.
Which is amazing. You come from humble means.
Totally.
And you were a monk.
Dysfunctional and humble.
Tell me a little bit about being a monk.
I was a monk. I went right out of school to a monastery because I had this vision of being a missionary.
Wow.
And I still, I'm very close to them till today, up in Weston Priory in Weston, Vermont. Incredible people. And I go about 3 times a year.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, it's amazing because that's incredible. But then you went, which is a totally different, you went in the retail business.
Well, you're absolutely right. It was nuts, but I didn't know what to do. And a counselor said, I went back to talk to a counselor, and she said, gee, you're so creative. You always did creative things. Why don't you get into retailing and display? I didn't even know what it was.
Exactly.
And short of it, this is before computers.
Right.
And she found a school in New York that had a display course, and they had a relationship with Lord & Taylor. And there was about 60 kids in the class, and they take the 2 top kids to work at Lord & Taylor during Christmas in the windows. And I was lucky enough
You were the Rhoda Morgenstern of your time.
But another thing,
that's right, right, good for you, right.
And that was a meaningful thing in your childhood. We're just talking about important New York.
They're closing the flagship store in Lord & Taylor. What is that? Tell us a little bit about how you feel.
I quoted yesterday in Women's Wear, actually, on that.
And what do you think? It's just sad, right?
It's sad. It is so sad because it's not, it didn't have to be, but, you know, it's a long history and it would take a whole show, but it's upsetting because my whole life started there.
Exactly. Joe, my life started in retail myself. I don't know Prince Charles. I don't know Carol Channing. I don't know. How did you get to meet all of these people?
You know, retailing is an incredible business. It really is show business of itself. And what I didn't realize until I almost finished with the book was every relationship in that book came through retailing, came through my career. And you meet people. And if you bond, you bond if you're lucky, and I was lucky.
I think that's such an important point because I was reading what you thought of why you wrote this book, and I thought, right, so often we think of work as something you have to do or it's where you find your livelihood, but for you it was life, and we should think about our careers as where our relationships are.
And how important people are. People in your lives, relationships in your lives are so important, and that's what the book is all about. It's relationships. I don't care if they're wealthy, they've got to be good people.
The only reason I took the job at Channel 3 was to be friends with Kara Sunland.
Well, it makes all the sense in the world.
I don't hold a candle to Audrey Hepburn, so let's take a look at some of these pictures. Audrey Hepburn, tell us about this.
Audrey was incredible. She was an idol of mine from when I was a kid, and luck would have it, we got acquainted and became really good friends. She did me a huge favor at Macy's, and I did something for her. And in the mail, she would come to New York every once in a while because she worked for UNICEF, and she sent me this little painting. And she died not so long after. In fact, she never saw the painting framed in my apartment.
And there you are with her.
But I love, that's Audrey and my son in the room we did for Audrey.
And your son's name is Christopher?
Christopher.
Okay. And that's who the book is dedicated to?
Yes. Yeah, and my clairvoyant that told me I was writing a book.
Bertram.
Bertram, perfect. Bertram Heckel.
And years earlier, he said, my timing is off, but you're going to write a book.
You have it perfectly. And I said, you're crazy. I can't write a thank you note. he said, I don't care. You're writing a book.
That's hysterical.
And I had to...
What's his number? We want him.
Unfortunately, I can tell you how to get in touch with him, but it ain't through the phone.
Exactly. Nancy Kissinger and Bill Blass.
Incredible people. Really, Bill was a dear friend, and Nancy is a very close friend. She wrote the foreword in the book. And she's one of the most gracious human beings and valued friends I have.
And then we have the sterling silver enameled box from HRH,
His
Prince
Royal
Charles,
Highness.
His Royal Highness, I guess.
Which was the all-time experience to be.
It's got to be. I mean,
when I went to meet him the first time, I was totally unprepared for the meeting, and he is as gracious and lovely and intelligent and funny. I just didn't expect it all.
Now,
and he was that.
You have these things, and you say it's important to, you got some advice from one of your first buyers to buy one beautiful thing on every trip.
Yeah.
What is why?
She thought I was talented, and she said, you're going to travel a lot, and the best thing is somebody else is going to pay for it. It's going to be your career.
Absolutely.
And buy one beautiful thing. And she said, and then she was in her late 60s, she said, when you're as old as I am, I have no doubt you're going to have a beautiful home, and it's going to be filled with beautiful things. But it's not the things that are important, it's what the things represent, and that being the people that are important in your life. And many of them will be gone, but you will look at them and you will remember with joy in your heart of the experiences of the relationship with those people. And it is so true.
We've got a close-up of a crab.
The crab is here. Yeah, and this was amazing. One of my
It's made
dearest,
of ivory?
It's all articulated antique ivory. And actually, Slim bought this with Bill Blass in London many, many years before I even knew her. And when she left it to me, she left instructions for me to look for a secret compartment on the side, which is there. And she said, there's a note for you.
Aww.
And it's there in the thing. And I've never let anybody see the note. It's only for me.
It says, don't eat the halibut.
No. But she was incredible. So how could I not look at that? And, things, your heart starts pumping.
Well, before we run out of time, we want to look at your house because it's beautiful. So let's take a look. We have a beautiful shot of the exterior of your house, and so I guess you've put your design. This came true. You end up living in a beautiful home right here in Connecticut with beautiful things.
It's exactly what she said. Yeah.
Well, we're so glad because a lot of people, they get to the status, they have this kind of beautiful home. They don't share it with people. So we're grateful that you're sharing it with us.
I love people coming to the house. It's one of my greatest
Kara and I will be there for lunch
anytime.
tomorrow.
Anytime.
Thank you.
I love tea on Sunday.
Tea on Sunday. There's
tea.
the book.
Can we have dark chocolate with it?
I have dark chocolate all the time.
All right, again, Joseph's book is called Friends Bearing Gifts. Find it at your favorite bookstore. You can learn more about it by going to pointedleafpress.com/friends.
Joseph's